Today, I'm going to show you how to take your classic World of Warcraft UI from this to this. Make sure to very quickly hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. So the first thing I like to do with my UI is unlock the window. You just right click right here and you click unlock. And I like to hide this window behind my chat. If you're a streamer, this is something you can do. Okay, the second thing I want to do is go ahead and move my unit frames. I'm going to right click my unit frame here and go down to move frame and click unlock frame. This is going to enable me to move these. I like to have my unit frames kind of to the left and to the right of my person. So if I unlock the frame here, I'll move it like right here and right here. This allows me to see the health bar of myself and my targets a little bit easier. You can move these wherever you want. You can leave them where they're at, but I kind of like them right here. Then what you can do is you can go ahead and lock those back into your frame position. Now what we need to do is go ahead and set up our bars down here. The add-on that we're going to use for that is called Bartender. In order to download add-ons, you're going to need a program called CurseForge, and I like to use CurseForge because it's a little bit easier. Just make sure you're selected on classic instead of retail, and then when you type in an add-on, it'll come up right here and you just click install. So let's go ahead and download the add-on Bartender 4 and install that. Okay, so Bartender, you'll get a little thing icon right here on your minimap, and you can click that and it will immediately show all of your bars. One thing that I want to do first is right click on this add-on, and I want to hide my Blizzard art bar. So we get rid of that, and then the XP bar and the other bars, I want to enable these. So uncheck the lock button, move this to the side, and then with all of my bars, I actually prefer these in rows of 4. And this is because I have a 12 button mouse and the buttons are in rows of 4, and so I like to keep my abilities kind of in the same spot that my abilities will be on my thumb. So you don't have to do that. That's just something I like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and create four different bars and make them in rows of 4. Amazing. All right, and then we'll lock that up. Good. Okay, so our UI is starting to look decent here. And one thing I like to change is how these unit frames look. I think the default guide is not great. You can't really see how much health other people have and stuff, or the mobs when you click on them. You can't really see much about them. Let's go ahead and enable our add-on Easy Frames. Once again, you can download Easy Frames from the curseforge.com. And now Easy Frames is going to transform our unit frames from looking the old way to like this. The health bar is going to be slightly bigger, and if you type in Easy Frames, it'll pull up these options, and if you just basically follow my guide, you can go through and try to make yours have the same settings as mine. Here's the way that mine look. So if you want yours to look exactly the way mine do, just make sure that you change the settings to the way that mine look right here with these font style. You'll be using a custom format, and then make sure that you use full values of mana, etc. right here, and make sure that all the values look the same as mine. Okay, now that we have the Easy Frames set up, let's go ahead and do our target health bars. So as you see, when we roll up on a target, you're gonna hit Control V to make sure that your nameplates are on. And if you see these are the default Blizzard nameplates. I actually like to use an add-on called Threat Plates. So we're going to go ahead and enable that now. Now, Threat Plates will have you looking... This is the default look for Threat Plates. And I actually like to have mine a little bit more custom than this. So if you want my Threat Plates, you can go to my chat, and whenever you're in my chat, you can type in !TP, and that'll essentially bring up a code for you to use right here, and then you can copy this whole code. Or click this button right here, copy. And then if you type in /TPTP in game and go to profiles, you can import this code that I use. And now your your threat plates frames will look like this. And I think it's just a little bit cleaner than the default one. The name is on the person, and then the percentage is right here at the end. In the default UI, you want to make sure you turn on auto loot. And then you want to go down to interface, and you want to use raid style party frames, keep groups together, display power bars, display class colors, and you want to remove borders. Perfect. If you're a healer, you would want to display pets as well so that you can heal players' pets from dying. Doing these is going to clean up how your party frames look whenever you're in a group or a raid. Okay, the next add-on I like to use is called Weapon Swing Timers. I'm going to add that in here for you. So go ahead and download Weapon Swing Timers. And let's go ahead and enable that so I can show you what to do with that. By default, they're going to show up right here. I like to drag these above my target's head and my head, and then type in WST. And for the melee settings, I like these to be about 125 in width, and then uncheck the offhand, as well as the text, unchecking show left and right text. Okay, and so now I have a nice looking weapon swing timer here above the target's head. I can see when they're gonna hit me. And if you run and jump, you want to run and jump right as this bar is filling up, and you'll never actually get dazed if you do jump turns. This is why the weapon swing timer is important, especially in hardcore. I like to use Bagnon because Bagnon puts all of your bags together and it makes it look a little bit nicer. You can also see what you have in your bank. So I use Bagnon and Scrap. And what Scrap will do for you is automatically sell and repair your items and then put all of your bags in one nice looking thing together. Character Stats Classic is another add-on that I like to use. And I actually like to pair that with Extended Character Stats. So I'll use both of these add-ons, Extended Character Stats and Classic Character Stats, so I can have a mixture of both. And then ECS will be over here, and you can see a lot of extra statistics that the default game won't actually show you. Another add-on that I like is Details Damage Meter. All right, if you install your details, it's going to look like this at the start, and I like to kind of just downsize this about here and put it over here on the side. And what this is going to do for you is it's going to show you how much damage that you're doing to mobs. So if you walk up and hit them, you can now see here that, you know, I'm doing 3 damage per second. I've done 32 damage total to this mob. And it'll just a live update you on see how much damage you're doing. If you're in a group, it'll also show you, you know, who's doing the most damage in your party, etc. Okay, and so now I'm running into an issue where I'm running out of space over here. So I kind of want to move my XP bar a little bit this way. And then maybe move the damage meter in some. We'll just lock that there. Leatrix Maps and Leatrix Plus are really good add-ons, and they have a lot of extra features that you can use. One thing Leatrix Maps does is it makes your map a little bit smaller, and you'll notice that like you can move your map around now and it doesn't take up your full screen. I like mine kind of at the bottom right, so I can still see what I'm doing as well as see everything on my map. Leatrix Plus, if you type in LTP, there'll be a lot of custom features that you can do in here, like, you know, blocking trades, guild invites, faster auto loot is the one I like to use, and max camera zoom, and also disabling the screen glow. This allows you to zoom out really far away. The next add-on I like to use is Looking for Group Bulletin Board. And the reason I like LFG Bulletin Board is because there's going to be a lot of people, you know, looking for groups, and if you're trying to filter through the chat, it could be very tough to see all the lines of chat that are happening. So this will just filter it nice and neat for you. And if anyone is, you know, looking for a certain dungeon like Stockades, it'll just kind of put them in the chat right here and allow you to see it very, very clearly. Okay, the next add-on is called Pawn, and Pawn is an add-on that I get a lot of questions about, and what it does is primarily when, let's say you're looking at an upgrade here, Pawn will actually tell you that this item is an upgrade, and if you see it's a green upwards arrow here, this is saying that this chest is essentially better than the chest that I have, and it's an upgrade. And if I have currently a belt on, this is telling me that this is 111% upgrade compared to the belt that I currently have on. I will say this add-on works very well at low levels, but is not always correct as you get to the higher levels. Alright, Quartz is the next add-on that I highly recommend, and Quartz is going to be it's going to be your cast bar. Now Quartz is your cast bars, so you can customize your cast bars, and it'll also customize your target cast bars, and you can move these around however you want. I like my cast bar like right here underneath my character, and you can customize, like they said, the length, height, and width of that. And I like my cast bar from my targets right above here. So if I click on myself, you can see that I'm casting something, and so it's going to show right above the person, right above my target's frame whenever they're casting something. And so that's what Quartz is going to do for you. I highly recommend the Quartz add-on for Classic. TacoTip. I get a lot of questions about TacoTip, but essentially what TacoTip does is it tells you what your character's gear score is right here and your item level overall, and it'll tell you like what the item power is that you're currently wielding, and if you have and if you click on someone else, it'll tell you what, you know, their item level is and their item power. It's actually not that great for Classic, but I still like it. Okay, Threat Classic 2 is a mandatory add-on that everyone playing Classic WoW should have. What it does is it tells you how much threat that you have on the current mob. And so I like to have my threat meter here and the details meter next to it. Now, if you see, if I go up and start hitting this mob, right here, it's going to show me how much threat that I have on this mob. I have, you know, 13 threat. And if somebody else was in my group hitting this mob, it would show me like what their threat is on the mob. And if I'm a tank, I obviously want to stay on top. Okay, the last one is going to be weak auras. And I think everyone should have weak auras. These are more like advanced add-ons and character specific add-ons that you can use for your character. If you install weak auras, you can type in WA and it'll bring up this window here. And essentially like what weak auras do is they're good for like reminding you. So if I want to make sure that I always have Battle Shout up, I would get a Battle Shout weak aura. All of the weak auras that I use can be found in my Discord. But for warriors, I think that Battle Shout weak aura is really good, and so I'll put this right here as a reminder. So this weak aura right here is reminding me to hit Battle Shout because I don't have it up. And this is a great thing about weak auras, is that it will always remind you to do things if you have it set up properly. Alright guys, that's it for my UI video today. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and feel free to ask me any questions on twitch.tv/Sardaco. I'll see you next time.